Hey guys, how is it going? Today's video is all about the Orlov military base and how you can better navigate around it. But first, I need you to do something for me. Go and hit that subscribe button, and then check out this kill. Let's get into it. So a bunch of you guys requested a Orlov military base guide, so let's run over this base a little bit and check out a few spots and how we can move around this map. So we're going to start with these buildings right here. So this is where you're going to find a lot of people kind of hiding out, especially when they've got most wanted or something like that. But it's really easy to get in and out of. We're going to start with this left building. This is the one on the hillside. And we're driving here, and these are these two buildings. So we're going to deal with this one. This one has places all the way around it that you can basically jump on, get where you need to. And you can run around the entire way and get wherever you need to as well there. Not only that, but if you come from the other side, coming from this way, all you need to do is jump on these, hit that corner, and you've got that. Or if you run around to this backside, you can hit in the corner there as well and have this entire block to clear. Otherwise, you can just hop right in the front here and do your thing. And if these large boxes aren't your thing, just jump on this box right here, jump on that right here, and you've got quick access to this window. All right, let's take a look at this building. So as you approach this building, you notice that there are these posts right here. All you gotta do is jump on that. And you can get up there pretty quietly. Again, you get full range all the way around the building. But that's obviously not the only way to get up here. Just like the other side, there's this box tucked in over here. Jump on this box, jump on that box, and access to that. Or if we're coming from the back side over here, what we're going to do, head this way, jump on that, and take our shots. That should basically cover the barracks portion of the Orlov military base. Let's take a look at a few other spots, namely these kind of modular buildings they have laid around the other side of this complex. And just as a tip here, if you are pushing from these buildings towards over here, what you're going to want to do, get that jump, mantle, and you got visibility there to make what play you need to. As well as, if you're coming out of here, you basically have the option of going inside, breaking that glass out, making you jump around, but you're obviously super exposed, so that's not a call that I would typically make for most plays. So let's take a look at this building right here next. So this is another very popular building for people to hide out in, and it's actually super easy to get into. So we're going to notice this block right here. Jump on the block, jump on that block, and we either hit either window and do what we need to do there. Then over in this corner, we have the last kind of barracks. So let's take a look at how to get into this one. We're going to do like we did in the other one, and you're looking for these boxes over here. These steps right here. Or if you're coming from over the wall, quick option actually is going to be, you're approaching from this way, on the wall, on there, jump in and do what you got to do. That's going to limit your exposure as long as possible and get you in there and in the building into cover, as well as helping you ambush these guys without them hearing your footsteps too much anyway. But little things like that, using the buildings to your advantage and be able to jump around and do things and have control of the situation goes a long way. So entering the shoot house, you have a few options. You can either go the doorway in the corner, or do something that most people don't expect, which is just head up this ladder. Make this jump. And now you're actually in a pretty good spot in that you can have a sort of cover that most people don't expect in the top of this. And once you're up here, kind of have free reign over everything else. Take a look at a few more spots. So as you come off of the runway, you'll notice this green building right here. This building holds enemies all the time. So what we're going to do to get up in the second floor without exposing ourselves like we typically would, we're going to just jump on this generator. And then go in the window from there and hit your shots. So finally on the Arlov military base, we have the bunkers. The bunkers and hangars are something that So finally on the Arlov military base, we have the hangars. And the hangars are something that I really just don't monkey with. There's just no point in messing with them. There's just... Once you get to anything, you're out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. I really want to play. Like I was saying, the hangars get you out in the middle of nowhere. And they're not that loot dense. I mean, there's usually a few things here and there, but it's not anything like it is up at, the barracks. So then finally we have the comms towers in the back. And the comms tower is something that I pretty much never touch, mainly because if you do, you're kind of putting yourself up in a place to die. The entire point of those places is to get up high and have a good overlook. So if you're sniping, it's a good idea. But if you're like me and use a shotgun, shotguns don't do very well from that distance. But you do have the major advantage of being able to get to a few different spots that you can't normally get to otherwise. Let's take a look at that. Obviously, we have two comms towers over here. Let's take a look at this one over here first in this area. So this area has a few buildings that are still fairly densely packed with loot. So let's take a look at how to get into these two green buildings to the second floor fairly easily without putting yourself in danger. So we'll start with the closest one to the white long building. And you can work your way around by hopping around and avoiding the door. Yes, you still have to move up top of the stairs to get up here. However, I mean, you can kind of work your way around if you really felt like the long way. Otherwise, another option to get a good view on that building is to hit it from here. Otherwise, another way to access that second floor is by hitting this white building onto these steps. Run on the edge of this fence. And you have your access there. So you have two ways and two different windows you can hit at the same time to get into that building. Another option would be to park a truck here and come in on that window right there. Let's take a look at this green building now. This one is another kind of odd layout in that you have the door there. And you have a door on this side. And you have this window over here. So obviously this one is pretty self-explanatory in that you can move around it some pretty obvious ways. But we get inside the building, we notice we have this window here that needs to be able to be gotten into, and this window here. So let's jump back out, get outside, and you'll notice this generator right here. Hop on that, and you have access there. There's no access on this side without a truck. But again, you park a SUV there, and you have access to that. Same thing with any of these other green buildings. It's all basically the same thing. The generators are going to be on the back side of them, and you should be able to kind of use that to your advantage to get in and out of most of these green buildings. But now let's talk about using this to our advantage and get a few extra viewpoints. But otherwise, at the top of this hill, you have a massive vantage point, but obviously the larger vantage point is going to be on top of these towers. So a nice thing from here is going to be that you can hit basically that entire building. But if you decide to hop up here and do some gliding, you can get pretty far and accomplish quite a bit. This is going to be the only other way to access that control building, the runway, other than kind of, taking the obvious route of the stairs. But you're going to become a big target as you come down and parachute, so that is something to keep in mind here. As you come in here, you have either up here or jump down and surprise them some kind of interesting way where they wouldn't typically expect you to be. And if you are looking to kind of have a little bit of a better hiding spot, this building can kind of save your life and let you regain a little bit. So let's look at that. Hop up here, hop up this ladder. And from here, we're either going to jump onto that or that. Once you're on here, just crouch, position where you want to position, and get where you need to get to kind of regain your composure, wait out a circle or something like that, and do what you got to do. But if I were going to approach the Arlov military base from outside of the military base, I'd approach it basically a couple of ways. As we zoom out here, I'm basically going to avoid this entire runway. I want to try to take it from the most dense areas. So I'd either come from here in the broken walls, or I would come over top of the hill and come down in the barracks and clear that way. Either way, when you clear these, you want to make sure you clear building by building and kind of snaking through it as you do it to just make sure the buildings are clear. Combine all the jump shots and all the jump spots that we did, and you'll have a pretty safe and high kill experience in the Arlov military base. If this video helped you guys out, be sure to give it a like because it took a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of trial and error. If you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to comment down below with the area that you want to see. And if you want to make sure you see those, be sure to subscribe. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you around.